cracked, but I didn't know if it was his shin cracking or just a really hard kick that hit the thigh. It was hard to tell because I'm not hearing it completely unfiltered. I'm hearing it in my ear and I'm hearing it through a microphone, and they're inside that cage, and they're at the time they're probably like 30 or 40 feet from me. So it's hard to say what you're hearing.
Right.
You're hearing an impact.
Right.
But when with Chris, the kick was so powerful. He threw full blast, like the first kick. He just decided he was going to fuck Uriah Hall's leg up with the first kick he threw. So first kick he throws full power, which you rarely do. Most guys, they're like if you watch a guy like Colby Covington, Colby Covington is one of the top welterweights, is known for his cardio. And I had a conversation about this. I go, when you're throwing, you're not throwing 100%. He goes, no, like 60, like 60, 70%. So he goes, somewhere in that range. He goes, every now and then I'll hit him with 100. He goes, well, most of the time it's like 60, 70%. And it's one of the reasons why the guy has an endless gas tank, because he's never like full blasting it. Chris Weidman went full blast with that kick right out of the gate. You could tell.
Also, Uriah Hall is like built like a brick shithouse. So.
He is. And he's also like super technical.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch him clean with something like first shot. He's very poised and ready.
Yeah. Colby Covington is entertaining.
He's going to fight in Madison Square Garden for the title.
I'm excited about that fight. Can I go?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, thank you. Yes. I love that. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. That first fight was great, and people are like, I can't believe they're fighting again. It's like, dude, that first fight was great.
It was amazing.
It was an amazing fight.
Amazing. It was an amazing fight. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, look, dude had his fucking jaw broken and still fought another round and a half.
And he's been kicking ass since.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
fuck yeah. Well, listen, Kamaru Usman, the guy he lost to, is, my opinion, if there's George St. Pierre's number one, he's number two. And the only reason why, you don't know who would win out of the two of them is because they haven't fought.
Right.
But, like, in terms of greatest welterweights of all time, it's tough to fuck with Kamaru Usman. He's right up there at the top of the food chain. He doesn't have the credentials in terms of the overall volume of impressive victories as a champion, because he's only defended. He won the title versus Tyron Woodley. He beat Colby Covington. He beat Gilbert Burns. He beat
Jorge Masvidal.
He KO'd Masvidal in the rematch. Like, those are the big fights, and they're great, impressive fights. But George's legacy is so long. I mean, George's legacy is just. But George, in all fairness, I don't think he fought the same caliber of competition as Usman has.
Is that because the athletes evolved?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I think, and it's no knock on George. George is still one of the all-time greats. And, and George, when he came back and stopped Michael Bisping and choked him unconscious, you got to say, well, Jesus Christ, George is probably even better than he was when he was a champion.
Right.
Because Bisping is fantastic. But I think that the level of competition that Usman has faced is arguably better.
It's such an interesting thing to watch a sport evolve so quickly. Kind of like tennis. I remember it was serve and volleys, and then guys from the Bay, the technology changes, the training changes.
Yeah.
And with MMA, there's so many different disciplines that you don't know which one's going to start having a bigger impact, and then all the guys are going to, and it's the leg kicks, it seems.
Yep.
You see guys just get chopped down with those leg kicks, and then it's, that they have no power, and they can't throw.
They can't even move
right.
They
can't move right, and like you can see the belts. You can see it, like those red belts on the leg. I used to think that those legs didn't do, those leg kicks didn't do anything.
Has anybody ever leg kicked you?
No.
Do you want to get leg kicked?
Only if you do it for America, on me.
For America?
Like full throttle.
No, I would never do it full throttle.
Yeah, no, I'd be dead.
I'll give you a tap,
but
so you could feel
a Joe Rogan kick in the chest may be what I need to just like
get you going,
get me going,
like a kickstart.
Yeah. Dude, you kick hard. Yeah,
I'm not kicking you.
No, please don't.
But to feel a shin on your thigh, just to feel like a thump, is it's illuminating.
Right.
You go, oh God, because it's like just do that to your leg.
Right.
What is this? Who's this? Oh, Fabrizio. That's Fabrizio Verdum. Is that a journalist? Oh, that's Aaron True. Oh, I talked to Aaron. Aaron was letting a bunch of people kick him, and I told him at one point in time, I go, Aaron, please stop doing that. And that was only 40%. Fabrizio says, only 40%, my friend.
You think it's deceptive when you watch it because guys don't react that much. They just take the kick.
Because they're animals.
But it's because they're animals, right?
And their legs are very conditioned.
Right.
They're accustomed to getting beaten up. They develop these really weird veins all over their legs. Like Kevin Randleman who was one of the greats, all the all-time greats, former UFC heavyweight champion. He fought Pedro Hizzo, and Pedro Hizzo is, in my opinion, probably the hardest leg kicker that ever existed in MMA. He's this big, giant Brazilian heavyweight, fantastic kicker. He was so good, and he fucked up Randleman's leg. He fucked up Randy Couture's leg so bad that Randy said his leg was fucked up for 6 months after the fight.
Wow.
Where it was like sore and lumpy and fucked up. But Randleman had these, Randleman passed away, rest in peace. But Randleman had these huge welts in his legs till the day he died from Pedro Hizzo. His veins had got destroyed from Hizzo kicking him. And so, like, there's photos, if you find Kevin Randleman's leg damage from Pedro Hizzo, for the rest of his life, he had these fucked up, giant garden hose looking varicose veins in his leg where he got kicked by Pedro Hizzo.
Wow.
Yeah, like he'll.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Change your legs.
Right.
Like, literally, he'll change your legs.
That's some ill shit to say to somebody. Yeah.
Bro, Pedro kicked
I'll
so
change
hard.
your legs.
I was at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu once in the early 1990s, and Pedro was working out, and he was kicking this heavy bag, and everybody was just like, what? He was just stepping out, and he was a big guy, 250 pounds, just stepping in. And you would just imagine what that would be like on your leg, just chop, chop, chop. And he, the UFC gave him a giant contract at one point in time because they were convinced that Pedro was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Right. And he had knocked out Josh Barnett. He and Randy Couture went to
actor,
war.
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett is the youngest ever UFC heavyweight champion. He won the title when he was, I want to say he was 24 years old. I think at the time he was the youngest ever heavyweight, not just heavyweight champion, but he was the youngest ever UFC champion. Yeah.
Right on.
Still fights.
He's still going?
Savage. Well, that's after the fight, the swelling in his legs. His legs were all fucked up and swollen. It's hard to tell from that picture. They just look like big legs. But Kevin's legs normally were shredded.
Right.
You would see all the muscle. That's just... See if you could see Kevin's veins.
I tried finding it. Nothing's coming out.
Nothing?
Oh, I remember this dude. This dude is built. I mean...
Randleman?
Yeah.
Oh, Randleman was a goddamn tank.
Yeah.
He was a tank. He was...
he fought in, Japan, different...
Fought for Pride.
Pride.
Yeah. No, he was a spectacular athlete. Yeah, it's not showing it. You'd have to, dig deep into the archives.
Do you think the UFC... I know, certain grapplers, the jiu-jitsu guys. What's the one guy? He was really... God, I just can't think of his name.
Describe what he looks like.
Man, he's he was Strike Force. He's all jiu-jitsu, and what's his fucking name? He was
All jiu-jitsu. Roger Gracie?
No, not Gracie. Not the original guys, but
Roger fought in Strike Force.
Well, my point is, I'll think of his name, but
Nick Diaz?
No, not the Diaz brothers, but he's in the camp with the Diaz brothers. He's like the
Crone?
Jake
Shields.
Jake Shields.
Yeah.
So savage, right?
Yeah.
As you would say.
Amazing.
But his style is I guess, for fans, is a little boring because he doesn't strike that much. He goes for submissions.
But if he gets a hold of you, you're fucked.
You're fucked. You're fucked. It's like a boa constrictor.
Jake Shields was a monster.
Do you think that because I know my taste as a viewer is changing, I'm being conditioned to appreciate the jiu-jitsu and grappling more, the Muay Thai. Oh, I'm starting, when it goes to the ground, you're starting to hear, I think, a less booze. Because I think the watcher is getting more educated, the viewer is getting more educated on, how much tactical skill is going into what's going on. Whereas before it was just people love seeing strikes, but now my question is do you think that that'll be as exciting as the striking in MMA as as the viewer gets more educated?
It is for some. It is for me, obviously. I have a jiu-jitsu background, but
what's going on.
Yeah, but I also I appreciate people who figure out how to win. I love watching people solve puzzles. I like watching people figure out how to beat a guy. And if a guy beats a guy with a submission or if a guy beats a guy with a head kick, for me, it's all exciting. It's all very exciting. But I think for the crowd, knockouts are always going to be first. It's just human nature.
Right.
Because it makes more sense to people that don't fight. If you look at the audience, if you go to the T-Mobile arena, and there's, what does a T-Mobile see? 18,000, 20,000 people? There's 20,000 people. How many of those people can train? How many of those people know striking or jujitsu, or how many of those people have ever been kicked? Maybe 4,000,
Right.
5,000, right? So for most people, they know what's happening if a guy gets kicked in the face. You get kicked in the face, your head snaps back, you flatline and fall back. Everybody's like, "Oh shit!" There's an "oh shit" moment to knockouts that just don't exist in submissions. Submissions are amazing, but I think you have to kind of appreciate what a guy's doing or a girl's doing in order to be able to really enjoy a submission the way you enjoy a strike, a knockout.
You were, yep. It's starting though to feel exciting when you see a guy get his hooks in and like that battle.
Oh
That
yeah, 'cause you think
battle
he
when
can
he's
win. Yeah.
defending and like